What's going on, everyone? It's me, DB, coming at you on this Thursday, whatever. That was bad, wasn't it? But all right, so it is currently 9:01 a.m. in the morning on Thursday morning, and I did not get to record my video from yesterday after yesterday's trading. I am not trading today. I have to be at the office at 10 o'clock to film some content, and I came upstairs to record my video. And when I left yesterday, I had to take my son to a baseball clinic, and I left my computer on, came home, took care of some stuff I needed to do, and went to bed. Didn't even think about it, left the computer on, had my door closed. It's like 90 degrees in here. If you see the sweat rolling off my face, that's why the monitors were on all night, and they create a lot of heat. But into the video, I'm just going to go right into what I saw yesterday. Market is live today, now, so I'm going to kind of take you back to yesterday, since this is yesterday's video. I also won't be trading tomorrow because I have a VA appointment in the morning at like 9 o'clock in Jacksonville, so it's about 45 minutes away, so I just won't be trading tomorrow either. But that's a good thing because I think today's really going to be some chop, and Fridays are hit or miss for me, so I am completely okay taking the next 2 days off, well, today and tomorrow. So with that, let's get right into the video. All right, on the daily, you can see we did break out a little bit. We actually gapped up, and we've already filled the gap. This is today's candle, but this is yesterday's candle that I'm looking at right here. So our pre-market low was here. Prior day low was just below it. Pre-market high was here. Prior day high was up above it. If you've watched some of my prior videos, you know I don't really like this because we were completely inside Tuesday's candle. So that's not a good sign because we're completely within that range of that candle. All right, on the 4 hour, you can see here we've got, we opened up a little green, sold off red, came back green, little red, bigger green, way down and back up, on the red there. So really, we still just chopped yesterday within this range. So all of my trade was within this range. The one target that I had when I went in, I had targets to the downside and to the upside. I'll show you some others, show you those on the other charts a little bit. But I had one at prior day low down here, one at the wick low, and then a couple more further down. My upside target when I was actually in the trade was up near prior day high for the we'll say the shorter term one. My initial entry though, or my target was way up here at like 520, and that was based off of a fair value gap, or not fair value gap, yeah, a shelf back here. So again, kind of ignore this. So this is the day we're looking at, and as you can see, we gapped up. Like I said, we gapped, and you see this candle closed here. This candle opened here, pushed down, closed the gap, and then went back up, and then got pushed down, or vice versa. But today could be another chop day just like yesterday was, or worse. All right, on the 1 hour, here we go. So when I came in yesterday, we had this gap right here that we had already filled. This was like overnight, so we had this gap, we filled it overnight, and then we had all these wicks right here. So I was like, buyers looked strong yesterday coming into this, and then the market opened, and you can see we did go up, and then we faded back, and then we went back up some more. So there wasn't any gaps through here. It was just these wicks here that made me confident in the buyers being able to step up. Now this red candle kind of shuttered that, but then the green overtook it, and I was like, okay, we're back in action on the buy side. All right, on the 15-minute, let me back up here. You can see I drew a lot of boxes throughout the day. Okay, so this was the opening. We opened up, and we just rolled over all the way down to pre-market low, balled up, back above VWAP, came down, tested VWAP, kind of chopped around VWAP. This is all those wicks I was telling you about. Then we broke down, came right back up through it at market open, and then this was my 15-minute range. The top of this candle right here, and the bottom with no wick. So this is played a lot into why I took the trade the way I did yesterday, because I did not like this no wick here, and I knew, well, I didn't know, but I had a high likelihood conviction that we were going to come back and make this wick, which we did. So this right here influenced my trade the whole day, not just the range itself. This was the range, but I didn't want to play the shorter trade because I knew this wick should be here, and if I'd have traded a 1-to-1, I would have got stopped out somewhere above VWAP. So I wanted my stop below VWAP, and I wanted my stop below this candle here. So I actually traded more than the range. My initial entry was here. I put my stop down here because I knew when we created this wick, we could come down in here somewhere. And there was an accident on that with my TraderBait account, because I didn't start the trades on this setup yesterday. I started them on my TraderBait on the website, and then managed it on my phone because I had an appointment. Then when I came home, I got on the computer and started doing all this up here on this computer. So you can see we opened up, we pushed down. This was the 1030 candle. We went back up. I had a little bit of a shelf right through here, or a fair value gap right through here. Then we pushed up. These wicks look really nice, and then we came down again. I put in the box here. This was the shelf for the support shelf, we'll say. We did break through it, but we immediately reclaimed it with an engulfing candle, and then went higher. And then we left this one, we left this one. These fair value gaps bothered me when I was in the trade because my stop was below them for a good period of time. Then I created this shelf off of these wicks right here. It got smaller there. Off of these wicks, I created this shelf. We also had no wick on this one. You can see we came back and put in the wick. And I'll talk about that a little bit more on the 5-minute chart. But this is when I got out. We had to leave. He had to be at camp at 4 o'clock. So we had to leave at like 3:15. So I left before this candle closed right here. And I just ran my stop up and took off. So I'll show you that on the 1 minute. All right, on the 5-minute here, we've got my entries are showing here on one of the accounts, not the other one, because it'll only show me one account at a time. This is the evaluation account that is loaded on this right here. But you can see here was our opening candle, straight up through the midline. We kind of chopped around the midline, VWAP, up, put in the high. We broke out. I did take the long, even though it was one of those, again, where we broke out a little bit. You know, we broke out like 15 points total. I actually got a better entry here because of the candle pulling down so far after this candle closed. I always try to enter right after the candle closes. And so I did get a little bit better of an entry. But as you can see, we did sell all the way down, and then we put all the way through VWAP. So this was kind of nerve-wracking when this happened. But I drew this shelf, this fair value gap here. And then I drew this one here, and I actually took this entry. This was the S2 entry that I had, and I was actually in, where was I? Marshall's at the time, and I dropped my mother-in-law for an appointment, and I went into Marshall's to grab some coffee stuff and everything while there, and I entered this entry there. I noticed an issue with this when I entered that entry. When I went to enter it, because on my phone I had to switch between the two accounts as well, I found out why I couldn't copy the trade the other day too. But it didn't really make sense, so hopefully I can get that figured out. But when I entered on this one, I went to enter on the funded account, and the account was closed. And I'm like, what? And it had my stop. So when I entered the range trade, this was, 175 to 313. We'll say 140 points. So I put that in as my initial, and then I moved the stop down because I knew I was going to be in somewhere up here, and I just needed to adjust my stop. So I moved it down, and for some reason on the funded account, it left it here. So, it wasn't even down here. It was here because I entered up here. So I got stopped out because that move of that one didn't work. So what I did is I turned around and I entered 2 contracts on that one. So things were a little out of whack on the buy-in down here. So then, as you can see, we bounced. We went back up. And when we got up here, I was really I'm like, man, I want to cancel one out to just relieve some of the risk, because an entry here and an entry here gives me an average entry somewhere around here. So I was up a little bit on the account overall, which this account, or this contract, is the one that would have closed out first. Or in the case of the funded account, both of them would have been down here because this one already closed out. So had I took one off here, it relieved a lot of risk if we did break further down, but it also limited the upside going higher. And so I kind of thought about it. I typed it into ChatGPT or to Claude, and like I said, I don't use it to tell me what to do. I use it for insight, and it pointed out some things of what I do in this instance in the past, and in its opinion, I should have just left things alone. So I did. And then right here, this candle was terrible. And this was like some news from Russia or something. And we sold down. At this time, the bands had pulled up. So we sold all the way back down to the orb low here. And so this was the confluence. We tested it here and went higher, and then we were testing it here. But you can see this candle and then some smaller ones we kind of made up, and then this candle and then a smaller one here. This was at the L3 signal now off the bottom of the band. So I was like, I'm going to take it because it's like 60 points of extra additional risk. This is when, in hindsight, I wish I had have taken one off up here. Then I would have still been in 2 contracts entered here, but my average would be between this and this. So like right here would have been my average. So I would have taken a loss locked in already on this one, but my average on both of these would have been down here. So, and as you can see, I had a confluence box right here, a massive one. So we had the shelf right here that we had put in, and you can't see this wick right here, but there's a wick right there, which is where that goes up to. So this shelf I had drawn right here. Then we put a fair value gap here on the way up, and then when this candle sold down, we had a massive fair value gap here. So everything in me was like, we have to go back to here because there's 3 things in this area. So when we got about, well, you can see I took one off right here. The choice there was very simple. I'm in 3 contracts now. This one was very low risk. I'm definitely taking one off at around break even, and then I'm going to take the others off at strategic points. So what I wanted is I wanted this one close to this high, but not real high. And I did end up going to the high side of the gap because of this one, of this shelf being here. So I figured if we do make a lower low, like, or a lower high, so we have a high up here, lower high. If this one was to reject, it's going to reject somewhere around here, and then I can, just cancel out of the trade because I wanted to move to break even when we got up here anyway. So I moved to break even, which was at this point on this account, it was like right here. And on the other account, it was like right down here. So moving to break even wasn't, I was above VWAP or below VWAP, below this shelf. So that was a good move to break even at that point. So this contract did come off. I did get nervous when I saw this. I was like, this looks like it could be a rounding candle on the 5 minute. And the 1 minute was a little bit worse. And I'm going to do all the diagnosis on this one on the 1 minute, or on the 5 minute, because the 1 minute just gets out of control. So, and then we chopped right through here. And I drew a chop range around this, and I was like, okay, I want to see us break up. We did, and you can see I put a circle right here. There's no wick on this one as well. But we did break out of this range to the high side and punched through the pre-market high and back through the orb, and then we tested it. So I was like, okay, this is good. We have this shelf. We have this, this fair value gap, this fair value gap, this fair value gap got tapped back here. That's why it's short, but we still had this one down here. So my stop's still down here at break even. I really wanted to move it up higher, but I really didn't have a logical spot because we hadn't tested. This is a bigger gap than this one. This one's small. This one's okay. But we hadn't tested anything. So then this was my T2 that I had, and we pushed up through it and hit it. And then I wanted, at this point is when I needed to leave. I was like, okay, I've got to go. T2 just got hit. This is a big push. What do I do? So I decided to run my stop up, and this is where I got out of control, so to say, because this shelf should have been here. I would have got stopped out even if I had put it down here, but even if I had moved my stop to like VWAP. But we never hit my target either, so that's another thing. But I ran my stop up based on a 1 minute candle, and I can show you that here in a minute. And then we got stopped out. You see this one right here? This is where I hate not using an actual ATM strategy and entering manual contracts. So nothing on NinjaTrader would work yesterday. Everything was showing like pending orders and stuff. So I had to do everything on Tradeovate. So when I entered the add-ins, I couldn't do it on an ATM strategy that was, we'll say, functioning properly. I don't trade on Tradeovate a whole lot, and I don't know what I was doing wrong. But when I tried entering the first trade, it was weird with the stop loss and everything. So when I tried to like close out this projected order is what it looked like, but it wasn't at a stop or a take profit. It was just a random like order. Like say this was my entry here, it was like a random exit up here, or sorry, another entry up here. So I was like, I don't understand. So I clicked on the one that was here and deleted it. And then when I did, it deleted my stop and my take profit, but I was still in 2 contracts. So I was like, okay, now I'm going to have to manually put it in. So I just went down, right-clicked, put in my order, just like I do for my initial order, and added the stop, drug it to where I wanted it to be with the other one, and then done the same thing for the high side. So then when I moved my stop up, after this target got hit, I moved to break even. I realized when I moved it, it was all one contract on the funded account that said 2 contracts, and then on the eval account it was all singles. So I'm like, why is one grouped and one not? I just couldn't figure out what was going on with TradeAbate yesterday. So then when this one got hit, I was like, okay, I really don't want to, give anything back, so I'm going to run my stop up. So I ran my stop up, and you can see there's 2 sell here and 1 buy here, but there's a sell here. So I was in 3 contracts. Here's a sell, there's 1. Here's a sell, there's 2, and then 2 sells. So when I moved my stop up, I didn't realize that it still said 2 on the contract. So I left at this point. I ran my stop up. I went downstairs to get everything ready, and then I got the TradeAbate notification that the trade had been closed out. So I was like, okay, I want to see how much I actually made for the day. And so when I went to look at it, it said that my actual profit was negative like $25. I'm like, what is going on? So I hightail it up here and pull up TradeAbate on my other computer and realize it had entered me in 1 contract short up here. So and it was because I had canceled out that 1 order and had to manually put in my stop and take profit on that one. So that was a technical mistake that I didn't catch and should have adjusted it when after this one had gotten hit. I just didn't notice it. I was trying to wrap everything up so that we could leave. So that could have been bad. I caught it right here. You can see we did sell down. Had I not caught it until we got to his practice or something, I might have been able to close it out down here for a profit. But then you can see we had Nvidia announcement at like 4:20. So then you see this is the Nvidia news, and then whoop, there we go. So closing it out was the right thing to do. We were pushing up strong. There was no reason for me to stay in any sort of a accidental trade. So if that ever happens, just close it out immediately. So as for the market and everything, so I did trade the funded account and everything. So I ended up 458.50 on the day in the funded account and 462.50 on the eval account. And again, today, no trading today, no trading tomorrow, just hanging out. Taking care of some real estate stuff. I put a home under contract yesterday, and then I got a piece of land that I've got to get listed today. So hopefully you learned something from this. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like, leave a comment, or subscribe. Yeah, leave a subscribe. Just hit the subscribe button and leave it the way it turns up. But hopefully you have a wonderful day. Hopefully you have a wonderful weekend. I might try to record a video tomorrow talking about the trade strategy and stuff. I don't know. I'm not going to make any promises on that. But if I don't see you again until next week, I hope you have a wonderful weekend.